Welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations. I'm Tim Scallon, registered dietitian nutritionist, and we are here in Nacogdoches, Texas at a restaurant where you will find something different than the usual local fare. For those of you who watch Memorial Cooking Innovations on a regular basis, you know of my fondness for foods from the Mediterranean. Well, we now have, right here in East Texas, a Mediterranean restaurant. We don't have to drive to Dallas or Houston anymore. Let's go meet the owner. Miss Ashley Dermacardigian, welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations.
Thank you.
And thank you for having us in the restaurant.
We're glad you're here.
So, Ashley, tell me how you and Avo came to open a Mediterranean restaurant.
We purchased Pepper Jack's, a local restaurant, in 2008, and there we have a few Mediterranean options. But it had always been a dream of Avo's to open a full Mediterranean restaurant.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So this is a dream come true.
It is.
Whoa, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so where does the name Zoukis come from?
A bouzouki is a Greek stringed instrument. We thought that was a great idea for a name, but Zoukis is a shorter, snappier version of the word.
Okay, Zoukis, I like that, okay. All right, so Avo was telling me that his mother taught you how to make tabbouleh. Tell me about that.
When we got married 9 years ago, it was one of the first dishes that she taught me how to make to be a good Mediterranean wife. So she showed me all the tips and tricks to make it just right.
Well, is Avo around?
He is. He's in the kitchen working on some tabbouleh.
He's making tabbouleh.
Yes.
You know what I like about eating here?
What?
It's the fresh ingredients.
The flavors and the freshness.
Now, wait a minute. Have you been watching Memorial Cooking
course.
Innovations?
Of
All right, well,
course.
you're going to have to get Mom to watch this episode.
You know she will.
Well, let's go see your kitchen. You know dietitians love kitchens.
Great, let's go check it out.
And here is the maestro himself at work, Mr. Avo Dermacardigian. Avo, thank you for having us in your kitchen.
Thank you for being here, Tim.
Well, so Avo, what are you working on here?
Today, we're preparing tatas tabbouleh.
Tatas tabbouleh. Not tabbouleh, but tatas tabbouleh. So what's tatas tabbouleh?
Tata means grandma's tabbouleh.
Oh, this is Grandma's tabbouleh?
It is.
This is the tabbouleh that your mother taught Ashley and her mother taught her?
Exactly.
Whoa, how cool is that? Okay, so show us how to make tatas tabbouleh.
Well, first of all, I got a bunch of parsley here.
Okay.
I always like to bouquet it, basically,
Okay.
to get fewer stems.
So you're bouqueting, meaning that you're putting all the stems and the leaves together to make a bouquet, and that way when you're chopping you get fewer stems.
Correct.
Okay, I've never heard that term. That's neat. That's a good culinary term, bouqueting the parsley. Okay, so what is a secret tip about making a good tabbouleh?
Well, the finest leaves, the better it tastes.
So in other words, you want a real fine chop on. So show us how to do that.
Absolutely. I'm chopping it as fine as I can.
I see. Okay.
For taste.
I've never chopped parsley like this. Now I'm noticing that you're wearing a glove, a special glove, and tell me why you're doing that.
We always wear a safety mesh glove.
Okay.
To protect our little fingers.
Okay, that's
from
smart.
a sharp knife.
And I could get a glove like this, for viewers at home who are learning how to use their knife. I could get a glove like this at a food supply store.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They are available and they're NSF rated.
And also, if you ever were playing around a Shark Tank, you could use that glove for that too. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So whenever I've made tabbouleh in the past, I've never known how to get it this fine. So I'm glad you're showing us how to do this. That's beautiful.
And I'd like to go over it one more time just to make sure that we are as fun as we can get it.
The smell from this parsley, it's a good fresh ingredient. And a lot of people don't know that parsley is an extremely nutrient dense food. A lot of Americans in American cuisine, they relegate parsley to just a nice garnish on the plate. What a shame that we don't eat parsley more often, huh?
Tastes great.
It's one of the values of the Mediterranean diet. Okay, so what are the other ingredients you have here?
Well, here, Tim, we have some fresh chopped tomatoes,
Yep.
fresh lemons,
Yep.
green onions,
Yep.
bulgur, which is cracked wheat.
Okay, so bulgur or cracked wheat, you'd find this labeled either way in the store.
Correct.
And earlier you were telling me this is a #1 bulgur. Now tell me what that means.
Well, the #1 is the finest.
Okay, so it's a finer grain.
Correct.
A #2 would be?
Would be a little slightly bigger, and typically use it for couscous.
Okay,
for
the
instance.
#2 bulgur I buy for couscous. #1 I should buy for tabbouleh. See, I think I've been using the wrong bulgur in my home recipe, so I'm glad you told me that. Okay, and what else do you have?
Here we have some extra virgin olive oil
Yeah.
and some salt, and I skipped fresh, dried mint.
So you do put mint in your tabbouleh?
Yeah, I do.
Because I've been told by some people, well, I don't like mint in my tabbouleh. But,
Well, Tita said so.
Okay, then it must be right.
Yes.
Okay, so put this together for me.
Absolutely.
Show me how to do
Okay,
this.
here's already a bunch pre-chopped.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this together right here.
Yeah.
Here's my first bunch of parsley.
I was telling Ashley that one of the reasons I love to eat here is because of the fresh ingredients. And, you know, healthy eating is really about eating fresh food.
Absolutely.
You know? Okay,
And
so
we'll
next
put
the tomato.
Yeah, we'll put more tomatoes on top of that.
And you know, right now in my garden, I have, they're just about to finish up, but I've had a wonderful garden of tomatoes this year. It makes a great tabbouleh.
Absolutely.
It's homegrown tomatoes.
And we'll top off with lemon juice.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And you know, some people
chopped onions.
like to take a shortcut with lemon juice and use the jar stuff. It just doesn't work. It has to be fresh lemons.
Absolutely, it makes the whole difference. And here we're just gonna take a little pinch
Okay.
of that mint on top. You don't want to put too much of that.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Yes. You know, one of the
These are
things that we've
cracked
taught our viewers on Memorial Cooking Innovations is that dried herbs are 2 to 3 times more potent than fresh, because if you suck all the water out of them, they're more concentrated.
I agree.
And so you're reinforcing something we've learned on
I
Memorial
agree.
Cooking Innovations. Get your bulgur in there.
Get the bulgur in there.
Okay.
And our olive oil.
Extra virgin olive oil. Flavor is in the freshness.
We're going to top it off with some
A
salt.
little bit of salt.
And the salt is always to taste. So
Yep. Okay.
and we're going to gently, we're going to gently toss this all together. And you want to let it sit for about 30 minutes before you serve it.
Okay,
So all the
okay.
flavors and tomato juice would actually...
They blend. The flavors blend.
Exactly.
Okay. Good. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful dish.
Well, Tim, would you like a taste right now?
I would love to. I'd love to. I know we want to let it sit, but my mouth is watering while you're mixing all these fresh ingredients. Here, I just happen to have a tasting spoon right here.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I am.
All right. I'm just going to help myself into your tabbouleh.
What do you think?
I love the balance, the textures, the flavor. This is so neat. Avo, thank you for showing us your tabbouleh. You know, this is so good. Do you have other Mediterranean dishes here?
I do, Tim. I do. Let me show you.
Okay. So Avo, this is your front kitchen. This is where the action is.
Absolutely.
So what are you going to prepare for us?
Right now, I'm going to show you how to prepare a beef kebab plate.
Okay, all right.
Actually, I'm doing a mixed grilled kebab today.
Okay, all right.
So I'm going to start off with some rice pilaf,
Okay,
fresh made here in my kitchen.
that's good. And when you say a mixed kebab plate, let me just ask you, is that beef and chicken?
I do, yes. And right here,
Oh, those are beautiful, Avo.
And we have this is a beef kebab and our chicken kebab.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
both,
Look at the
both
color
of these
there.
are fresh made here in the kitchen,
Okay.
along with some fresh made roasted potatoes.
Roasted potatoes, a classic Greek side.
Yes.
Okay.
They are.
Boy, this looks like a really filling meal, Avo.
And our garlic sauce, homemade for dipping.
Ooh, so that's ready for the table.
That is ready. This plate is done.
Okay, so what's next?
Next, I'd like to show you about our baba ghanoush.
Okay, baba ganoush. Now, this is a term that our viewers may not be familiar with. So tell me what baba ganoush is.
Baba ghanoush is basically a fire-roasted eggplant dip.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like hummus, but no garbanzo beans, fire-roasted eggplant.
So it's basically a hummus made out of eggplant.
Exactly.
You might say.
Exactly.
Okay.
And again, this is all fresh made in our kitchen.
I love this. So this doesn't come out of a tub that you bought from a food service purveyor.
No.
You bought the eggplant, you roasted them, and you made this dip.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
I love it.
And I'm
Love
going to
it.
top this off with some paprika for taste. And of course, some extra virgin olive oil.
Let me get that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
You know, Memorial Cooking Innovations is all about fresh ingredients. Do you see why I wanted to come to your restaurant?
I agree. And we got
Good olives.
Kalamata olives out of Greece.
Yeah.
And
you know, I like these olives because they're pitted. A lot of times when you get the Kalamata, they still have the pits in them,
These
which
are
I know
pitted.
is more traditional, but I like the pitted ones.
so
Beautiful.
this is a complete plate with a peppercini on it.
Okay. Okay. What's
Now,
next?
Next, let's do our famous Zoukis nachos.
This is going to be a nacho plate at Zoukis?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's
but
an
this
old-
is going to be different than what most people think of as nachos.
Exactly.
Okay,
Now, we're going to start off with a base of hummus.
Okay.
And we do make our own hummus fresh from scratch here.
So this is literally garbanzo beans ground up with olive oil and all the spices, tahini. and-
Tahini. And the tahini is imported from Lebanon.
It is.
It is.
Okay. All right.
There you are.
And I noticed that these chips they're not all the same size. So do you make these chips right here?
We fresh make them in our kitchen.
So this is fresh pita bread that you cut into chips and bake them.
Exactly.
They're not fried.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're baked in the oven with kosher salt.
So these didn't come in a bag from 200 miles away.
Not at all. I'm
love it.
topping them off with our fresh made garlic sauce.
Ooh, okay.
And today we can choose, let's say lamb. Let's put some
Ooh.
lamb on it today.
Okay, okay.
All right, we're gonna top it off with a little lamb on each one.
Wow, I've never gotten this dish before, but now I'm going to have to try this.
That lamb is tender and it's carved and shaved here in the store.
Ooh, it's wonderful.
And we'd like to top it off with some avocados,
Good avocado.
fresh cut.
Another very nutrient-dense food. You know what I like about this cuisine? It's tasty, but it's healthy. I don't feel guilty when I'm eating this tasty food.
I agree. And the final touch would be some fresh crumbled feta cheese.
Ooh, now
right
there's
on
some
top.
flavor.
And that plate is ready to go.
You know, Avo, I can see why
There
this
you
would
are.
be one of your most popular dishes. Is that true? Is it one of your most popular?
It is. It's an award-winning dish
Really?
here in our town of Nacogdoches.
Whoa, that's cool. Okay, you got
Okay.
one more?
I do. Okay, so today we're going to introduce our stuffed grape leaves.
Okay, so in some Greek restaurants, I've seen these called dolmas. Is that-
Traditionally, yes, they're called dolmas.
Okay, and so this is a grape leaf, and it's wrapped around.
It's an actual grapevine leaf wrapped and stuffed with rice, onions, and spices.
So no meat.
No meat
So
in that
Kathy,
one.
my vegetarian wife, could eat your
She
dolmas.
would love them.
Okay.
She would love them.
Okay.
And they go very well with some
Lemon.
fresh squeezed lemon
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful color.
and a little parsley on the side.
Yeah, make it pretty.
Yeah, of course. And some tzatziki sauce.
Tzatziki sauce.
Tzatziki is the gyro sauce.
Okay, so gyro, and so this would
Cucumber-based sauce.
be... Yes, okay. Oh, that's beautiful, Avo. You're making me hungry. Okay, so...
That dish is ready to go.
All right. Hey, thanks for showing us some of your dishes, and I'm ready to go eat now.
Let's go give it a taste, Tim.
Okay, all right. As one colleague once put it, we're not getting out of this alive. But if I could adopt a lifestyle that might yield a few more years on this earth, or perhaps improve the quality of my later years, what would it be? The Mediterranean diet is an eating plan originally inspired by the dietary patterns of Greece, southern Italy, Spain, and Morocco in the 1940s and 50s. This is really more of a lifestyle shift than a true diet. The plan focuses on high consumption of olive oil, legumes, unrefined grains, fruits, and vegetables, with moderate to high consumption of fish. Dairy products, mostly as cheese and yogurt, and wine are consumed in moderate amounts, with low consumption of meat and meat products. For those meat and potato fans out there, this means a few fundamental shifts in your eating pattern. For example, identify more meatless meals that do not compromise flavor. Shift away from deep frying and toward more sautéing with extra virgin olive oil. And explore some new flavors to add to your culinary repertoire. Research has shown that people who adopt a Mediterranean diet and stay active are more likely to maintain a healthy weight. Mediterranean-style meals, loaded with vegetables, fruits, and grains, are higher in fiber. They're quite filling, and this reduces the desire to overeat. More vegetables, fruits, and grains with less meat makes this plan consistent with the American Cancer Society recommendation to follow a plant-based diet, meaning that this eating plan lowers our risk of cancer. Because the Mediterranean diet is low in saturated fat and high in monounsaturated fat, and it's high in dietary fiber, the plan lowers heart disease risk. The antioxidants in olive oil also reduce bad cholesterol and provide other anti-inflammatory and anti-hypertensive effects. Recent research found that a Mediterranean diet is more effective than a low-fat diet in making long-term changes to lower heart disease risk. The heart-healthy benefit of this plan does not appear to be genetically inherent in those who live around the Mediterranean. When healthy middle-aged adults in the Mediterranean region change from an active lifestyle and Mediterranean diet to a less physically active lifestyle and a more typically Western pattern, incidence of heart disease goes up. If you enjoy flavors, textures, and variety in foods, consider adopting the guidelines of the Mediterranean diet. With a glass of red wine, good company, and a terrace overlooking the bluest water on the planet, one can find a few moments of serenity in today's hectic world. Let me show you a simple dish that you can make at home to bring the Mediterranean diet right to your table. Fattoush is probably one of the most popular dishes in Mediterranean cuisine. It's a very simple salad, and we're going to start by making a garlicky, lemony dressing. We'll start with extra virgin olive oil. You know, Mediterranean diet, we want to consume olive oil. Yes, it's a fat, the calories do count, but it's a heart-healthy fat. Then I've got juice of 2 lemons that I've squeezed, so lemony. So this is kind of like a vinaigrette, isn't it? Only instead of the vinegar, the acid we're using is the lemon juice. Fresh diced garlic. You know, it's always better than the jarred stuff. You've got more flavor. You can smell that garlic. It's wonderful. Okay, garlic is our friend. This dish has ingredients that we recognize. There's one exotic ingredient, and it's ground sumac, not to be confused with poison sumac that grows in our woods here in East Texas. Then we're going to put a teaspoon of chopped mint, and I'm going to use fresh mint, not the dried stuff. And remember, when you're using a fresh herb, you want, if you're going to use a fresh herb, you use twice as much as what you would use dried. So same difference going the other way. If this was going to be dried, instead of a teaspoon, I'd use half a teaspoon. So I'm just going to dice this up right here. Make sure that it's, the reason you're dicing this mint is just so that you don't get a big bite of mint in one bite. And so you're really just dispersing the mint flavor into the dish. Okay. All right, so we got him all nice and diced up. All right. Now, add just a touch of salt and pepper, not much. Then we're going to stir this up. And this is our dressing for this fattoush salad. All right. Now, we're going to go with cucumber. So we're just going to cut the ends off this cucumber. And if you're good to your garden, you can still get cucumbers in August, if you believe that. You got to be good to it. You got to have it mulched. You got to have a little bit of water on it this time of year. But these cucumbers came right out of my garden. And remember how we've learned on Memorial Cooking Innovations to create a flat surface so that you can handle what you're cutting. It helps you. And then notice how I'm just basically guiding my knife right down the edge to just get that peel. Now you can leave the peel on this cucumber, but it's a personal preference. I like it with the peel off. And you could split hairs and say that, well, there's more nutrients in the peeling. Well, yes and no for some foods. Cucumbers, that's probably a toss-up. Potato, yeah, that's better to leave the peel on. Okay, so I've already chopped some of these cucumbers up. I'm going to toss them in there. And then these are going to go in the pot in just a minute. I'm going to do this other cucumber right here. The rest of this other cucumber. Okay, we've got that cucumber ready. Add the tomato, and these are just cherry tomatoes right out of the garden that I've cut in half. We're going to add some diced parsley, and Avo showed us how to cut that. We're going to do some fresh green onion. I'm going to stir all this together. Isn't that beautiful? Smells so fresh and delicious. This goes great with some fresh pita bread. That pita bread hot out of the oven. In fact, okay, we're gonna add just a little bit of feta cheese. Really add some flavor to that. Beautiful salad. You know, some people take day-old pita, cut it into pieces, and then add it to the bowl before you do any of this, and then add the salad to that. So it's like bread and salad all together. It's like they're croutons. But that's how you make a very simple and beautiful fattoush. Wow, we've got a beautiful table set up here, Ashley. Where do I start? Tell me about this baba ghanoush.
Baba ghanoush is a traditional Mediterranean dip, sort of like hummus, but instead of having beans as the base, it's the fire roasted eggplant, so it has a smoky flavor to it.
Wow, that sounds exotic, huh? I love it. Okay, now you've got a beautiful dish on the end there. What is that?
This is our Nights of Lebanon. It's a dessert.
So this is a traditional Lebanese dish?
Yes.
Okay.
It has a creamy cheese base, topped with fresh fruits and pistachios, raisins, and a syrup that we make here in the restaurant that features rose and orange blossom flavors.
Ooh, that just sounds delicious. Okay, so now you have two different breads on the table.
Yes. This one that's a bit thinner is a Lebanese flatbread, but this is the Greek flatbread. And this one we would dip into
This dip.
the olive oil
Okay.
and seasoning that we serve here.
And we were talking earlier about this dip. Tell me about
Yes.
that.
Well, it's extra virgin olive oil, but
Okay.
we have our own seasoning blend that we use here in the restaurant. It has in it oregano, chili powder, paprika, and other flavors.
I love this dip. Every time we come to this restaurant, this is one of the reasons I come. It's for
Yes, this goes on the table at the beginning of every meal.
Love it. I love it. Well, this is a beautiful dish here. Tell me about it.
This is our grilled chicken penne. It's a fusion dish. So
Okay.
we developed it here in Zoukis. It has penne pasta topped with our grilled chicken, grilled asparagus and tomatoes, feta cheese, Greek olives, and a creamy garlic sauce.
You know, these foods just make me happy.
Me too.
You know, if you love textures and colors in food, then you need to check out the Mediterranean menu, because Mediterranean foods, they're delicious, they're a celebration of textures and colors. Today we've learned that eating out can include healthy choices, especially when they're focused on fresh ingredients. We've reviewed what is typically referred to as the Mediterranean diet. And we've explored some exotic dishes that are packed with flavor. I'd like to thank Ashley and Avo for inviting us into the restaurant and sharing your cuisine with us. And I also want to thank you for joining us today. Our viewers, you know, you all are what make Memorial Cooking Innovations what it is today, because without you, we wouldn't be changing the world one bite at a time. Memorial Cooking Innovations is made possible through the generous efforts of CHI St. Luke's Memorial, the Polk Education Center, Sodexo Food Service, and the City of Lufkin, KLTX Channel 15.